Origins. I'm your host, Daniel. Today, there's a couple, I'm doing a review over 3 of Pathfinder tales. Kind of like Pathfinder's version of D&D's The Forgotten Realms. They cover a lot of fantasy books from different characters, different things, kind of like how The Forgotten Realms does with like Legend of Drizzt and all the other books that they made. But Pathfinder Tales are a collection of different stories. 3 of them, which I'm going to talk about today, all deal with a couple characters I'm really enjoying. There's the Prince of Wolves, Master of Devils, and the Queen of Thorns. These 3 books deal with Count Giacara is one of the main characters, and Radovan is the other, pretty much the 2 main focus characters. They're in Master of Devils. He does have a 3rd character, is their dog. Kind of have a point of view from the dog's perspective, and it's actually quite entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But before I do that, a quick shout out to a freaking great creator, Ripa from the Ripaverse. I got my shirt in just a couple days ago. This is Catch Street. I love this shirt. It's super comfy. Fucking the art is great. I got my 2nd comic book because I've already read the 1st one, and I got the 2nd one. I will be doing a review on both of those soon. Let's look forward to that. And I'm kind of behind because it took me like forever to get to, but I didn't order until like way late. So, as I said, but these 3 books of the Pathfinder, Prince of Wolves starts out pretty interesting. You got Count Giacara and Radovan go to an area which is known for worshiping the goddess of death and decay. So she's kind of like the undead queen kind of god kind of thing. Yurgathora, something like that. I get the name wrong, but they investigate what's going on. Radovan in the book, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, so don't worry about that. Pretty much Radovan finds out something about his history, about his family's history here, as they're looking for a missing Pathfinder, because they're Pathfinders. They both work well. Radovan's kind of like the bodyguard for Count Giacara. Count Giacara is actually a Pathfinder himself, and like one of the higher ups. And this Pathfinder disappears, works for him, so he's out there looking for what happened to her. Story goes on. He gets to some cool abilities. Radovan finds out something really cool with fire. Not going to spoil it for you any more about that, but I really enjoyed this book. This really, because I've read a couple before, but this one really sucked me into this world. I did the Winter Witch. I like that one, but it didn't really suck me into the world yet. And I am loving Pathfinder. I have started a Pathfinder campaign with my daughter. We're going to be continuing that. But I really know D&D. I know the Forgotten Realms because I've read all the Drizzt books. I've read multiple books. I know the history. I know the lore. I played multiple games. So when I went into Pathfinder, I'm learning its world almost from scratch because I did play, Kingmaker on my computer, and I have played Wrath of the Righteous. I haven't beat them yet, but I have played them, and I just want to delve deeper into the lore, and these books help you. I really, really enjoy these books. And so Prince of Wolves was a great start. I really like these characters. I love, you got the Count Giacara, who's kind of like the upbeat noble, and his bodyguard, Radovan's kind of the street thuggy, roguish type. And I really like Radovan. They work well together. And then you got the Master of Devils, where all of a sudden it's the next chapter. It deals with they went home, they had discovered they needed to go get sent all the way across the world to pretty much what you would think of China to them. I can't think of the name right now at the top of my head. I wish I should have took some notes for this, but whatever. So it's kind of like the Asian continent on the other side of the world from their main continent. And so they go there, and you got a lot of like Asian mythology, and you got, you know, especially the dragons. You got, you know, jade tigers in there. Pretty much, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Beginning of the book pretty much has them in shit. They're in deep shit. Radovan goes to save his master, you know, Count Dracara, who goes a different way, and they end up getting separated. A lot of these books, the first two especially, these two get separated a lot, and they end up going on their own separate journeys and coming back together. Third book, they're mostly together, but it's pretty interesting how this works. You know, a certain sorcerer shows up and pretty much enslaves Radovan, and Count Dracara ends up at a temple, a monk temple, and starts learning monk. He is pretty much almost, to survive, he has to pretty much go into this temple undercover almost, but he ends up becoming part of the temple and really enjoying it. As you go on, as I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he starts learning techniques, and you know, he's a wizard, so he gets his butt kicked a lot from these monks because he's not as physically fit as most of the monks would be. The sorcerer pretty much traps Radovan in a certain form and makes him do things across the land, trying to teach him his ultimate monk technique, which is the quivering palm, which if you played the game, you know that's one of their monks' like ultimate techniques. And then they end up together on separate sides, which is pretty cool. And then they work it out. And it's freaking, I think the book is great. And then you got the dog side. That was hilarious, okay? Every time it would go to the chapter where the dog was focused, you know, it was from his perspective what was happening, because they all three got separated. So the dog's all by himself for like a year or more. I think it's like full year that they're all separated before they end up back together. And the dog gets to go around and help gather these commies. Good, bad, doesn't matter. They need him to fight the sorcerer who has Radovan, pretty much. And it's fantastic. I think the dog's perspective was hilarious because you could tell this is definitely what a dog would think. You know, I want to see my master. My master is my friend. He's my, you know, blah blah blah. He gives me jobs. He commands me. I like my master. You know, stuff like that. And it's great. I really enjoyed the dog parts. I really thought it was funny. The third book, Queen of Thorns, deals with after all this stuff. In the first book, I will spoil a little tiny thing. Count Dracara has a favorite carriage he likes to go in. It's this beautiful red oak carriage made of wood. It's custom made. It's beautiful, and it gets destroyed in the first book. And he's really down about it. Almost more down about it than losing all his people. Supposedly it was a birthday present from his mother before she passed. And Queen of Thorns, he goes to the Elvish Kingdom, because if you don't know, Count Dracara is half Elven. So he goes to find where the carriage was created, because he's got some downtime after they get back from over on the other side of the world. So he goes back to the Elven Kingdom. Usually it's kind of weird, because in Pathfinder, the Elven home is pretty much elves only. They don't even like half elves, and they don't like elves that were born outside of their kingdom. They pretty much look down on them. So they're very uptight, you know, kind of dickish. But in the story, to find his carriage, to get his carriage fixed, because that's pretty much what he did, all the parts of his carriage that he saved to this Elvish Kingdom. He says that his mother received the carriage as a gift from his father, who he never met, who he believed is either dead or long gone or doesn't give a shit. And he doesn't want to really meet his father because, you know, he's never met him. He never, you know, he kind of just, you know, it was like an affair between this, you know, an elven man noble, and his mother, who was a Chesnian, or not Chesnian. God, what is the name of it? It sounds a lot like Chesnian, but it's something else. I can't think of the name right at the top of my head. But she was a pretty, big house within this kingdom, noble house. And she got pregnant, and she wanted him to come with her, but the guy he said that he could never live outside the Elven Kingdom, that he would be a part of, he'd be away from the green, because the guy's a druid. It's a little spoiler. His dad is a really powerful druid, pretty much. And him leaving the forests where the elves are would separate him from nature, and he couldn't do it. So they separated. They ended up not getting married. So she went back home, had her son Jakare, and he raised him, blah blah blah. So this is kind of like him going back and meeting his lineage, his family ties, all this stuff. Radovan's still with him, and he's fighting as his side. He's got a cool new jacket that was crafted for him over on the other side of the world. He loves his jacket. Radovan loves his jacket. Don't mess with his fucking jacket. His poor jacket. Anyways, you learn a lot of different things in this book, and it was a lot of twists and turns. The first, pretty much, big part of the book is them trying to find, because I'll spoil one lore thing. Turns out the carriage was actually grown. Well, kind of like a druid magic was shaped and grown this carriage from his father. And the only one powerful enough to actually fix the carriage or make it grow again would have to be his father, who has been missing for a couple centuries, for a while. And so he gets pretty much, the queen pretty much sends him saying, I want to talk to your father too, if he's still alive. No one's heard from him. He disappeared looking for old art, elvish artifacts and different things. He likes to travel around and explore ancient, technology and understand different things, lost to time. So they pretty much have to trace his father's steps until they can find where he's at. I'm not going to spoil any more about that part, but yeah. So the whole thing is about him finding his father. Something really big happens to Radovan in this one. He learns a really deep, dark secret about his family, and which causes him a lot of pain, but also kind of does something really interesting. I really want to know what he is within the Pathfinder lore, because he is what's called a Hellborn, which is like he's got demon blood. Because at some point in time, his ancestors, had demons in his family. Or devils, not demons, sorry, devils. There's a difference in Pathfinder. I learned a lot more about the difference between the devils and demons. In Pathfinder, devils are lawful evil. Demons are chaos evil, and they hate each other. They will go to war with each other, because lawful are all about law and order. They want things to kind of be not chaos. They want evil to rule, but in lawful ways. And they're very skeptic. Demons are all about chaos. They want to just destroy everything, have it all be chaotic, crazy, nuts. Lawful devils despise demons. And you learn a lot about this in these stories. What's the difference between a devil and a demon? Sometimes devils are not looked down as much as demons. Demons they'll be hunted immediately. Devils are kind of like you can reason with them more than you can. A demon you can't. They'll just tear your head off. So it's really interesting. These three books. There's another book out there that has these two that we're getting next. I gotta remember what the name of it was, but I think it's the war. It's to do with what happened in, it's kind of the same area as with Wrath of the Righteous, the Pathfinder, tabletop RPG that was on the computer. That's to do with the war wound and demons and stuff like that. And they're going to go and they're going to fight, in there. And that's really interesting to me because I kind of want to see what happens there. Before, I just wanted to, if you haven't checked out Pathfinder's Tales, you can look them all online. That's what I did. I just looked up online, Pathfinder Tales reading list. And there's a website you can find easy that people have made entire lists of like which books you should read first, what came out first, what by certain authors. I'm not sure the name of this author, but I will put it in the title of this video, so you'll be able to read who the author is. And I really enjoyed these books. As I said, if I was going to rate them, I'd give them pretty much, let's say I rate them the same way I would rate on a level of these with D&D's books. I think they're pretty much on par. It's a completely different universe. You gotta really separate yourself from the two different worlds, because Galarian, which is the Pathfinder world, is completely different than D&D's world. My brain is dead tonight, and it's late. It is like 1 a.m. So forgive me if I'm not like completely there. I just couldn't sleep right away, so I was like, screw it, I'm making this video now. I don't want to wait till later when I don't have a chance to. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm gonna be reading that next book. Other than that, what's going on with the channel a little bit? I am researching for my second book. I talked about the Sundering. I'm looking to get into, I'm going to get me a copy of the Book of Enoch, which is a biblical book that deals a lot with before flood time periods. And I'm going to really incorporate that in my second book. As you know, that the flood is going to have a major part in the second book of my story. And I'm going to delve really, I wasn't going to do too much on it. I was just going to make a quick little thing. But now that I've learned more about what life was like before the flood, I really want to delve into it more and mix that mythology into with my stories, to really tell a really cool story before my people go back to the Hellcore, where they have to face the demon horde, like the actual darkness, the demons. And I think it's going to be really fun. So half the book will probably be almost solely the Sundering and the flood and Eden, and what I call Earth at that time, what we called Eden. And then it's going to go into the war of between the light and the darkness, and it's going to be really fun. And I'm really delving into like different aspects of the Book of Eden. There's a couple other things I need to do. I gotta, of course, review the comic books of ISM number 1 and 2. I gotta finish reading this book by Black Knight. This is the second book of this series. It's the Twin Sons of Cariel, the Star Shatter books. It's the second Star Shatter book. I gotta finish this so that I can do a review on it, because I already did the first Star Shatter. This is the second one. I'm also going to be doing a review over a friend of my book, who is a big supporter of my book and this channel, Wrangler. He released a book. I don't have the title on me right now, and it's in my kids' bedroom because I've been reading it to them at night. It's kind of more of a kiddish book. It's more, I would say, for younger, young adults to older kids for now. It's kind of a sweet little story that I'm about halfway through now, reading with my kids, and I'll be reviewing that. Other than that, thank you for coming, and thank you for staying this long. Please like, subscribe, share this out if you can. I usually always forget to say that, but As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel, and I know that I haven't been able to do as much because my computer's still down, but I'll do what I can, and when I finally can get my computer up and running again, you'll be seeing me on this baby of a mic right here, and I'll be doing more gaming and more views and talking about my book more, and actually be able to really delve into my book. So thank you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.